What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Yes, the transfer window continues. There is no rest for the weary because we have an update when it comes to Mason Mount. I know we spoke about Mason Mount a lot. We certainly have over the last few days. We spoke about him this morning. We spoke about him this afternoon. Now we're going to be talking about him this evening because, of course, it was reported earlier today that a brand new bid, a third bid from Manchester United, had gone in regarding Mason Mount. But the question was, will Chelsea accept this new bid? Because of course they rejected the first two bids. The second bid was rejected immediately upon being placed by United, but this time that wasn't the case. We knew that Chelsea were going to meet today. They were going to deliberate. They were going to converse if indeed they wanted to accept Manchester United's latest bid, which was for £50 million with £5 million in add-ons, being a £55 million total package. But now we know, as you can see on the screen right now, that Chelsea indeed have rejected this third bid from Manchester United. It has been widely reported in the last few minutes at the time of recording this video that indeed Chelsea have rejected the third bid from United, which is significant because of course United had previously said, look, this is our third and final bid. We're willing to walk away. Well, the question now becomes, is United going to walk away? Is that something that United are going to do? Or indeed, are they going to continue to negotiate with Chelsea? Well, certainly that's what Chelsea want. It's been reported, as I mentioned, by all of the big hitters here, including Fabrizio Romano, who has said, quote, understand Chelsea have just rejected Manchester United's third bid for Mason Mount. It hasn't met Chelsea's valuation, and Chelsea have made a counter offer. The Chelsea counter offer is 58 million plus 7 million in add-ons to get it done. Of course, we do know that Chelsea's asking price has always been that kind of 65 million pound number, and it looks like they're still determined to get to that 65 million pound price, whether it be an addition of add-ons, whether it be up front. Nevertheless, Manchester United, they've said they don't want to spend over £60 million for the English international midfielder, hence the stalemate right now. But there is hope that this deal can still get done because Fabrizio Romano has said, quote, Chelsea have also offered to meet in person to resolve everyone's interests. So certainly there is still a desire, certainly on the Chelsea end of things, to meet in person, stop doing the back and forth bids. Let's get this deal done. Now, this has also been pretty much reported. It was all actually, no one really got there first, it must be said. Everyone reported it at the same time, which kind of implies that Chelsea, in a blanket way, sent this out to all of these journalists. David Ornstein also tweeted, quote, Chelsea reject third Manchester United bid for Mason Mount. As I mentioned, that's £50 million plus £5 million in add-ons. Chelsea have made a counter proposal of £58 million plus £7 million in add-ons and offered to meet Manchester United to find an amicable solution. There's hope of a quick resolution so the 24-year-old doesn't miss pre-season and the start of a new campaign. So I think we spoke about this earlier on today, didn't we? I remember I put the poll in the chat at the time and I said, do you think that Chelsea will accept this third bid? And my response at the time was no. I feel like they would counter and United would accept that counter. Now, we're not fully there just yet. Chelsea have rejected this third bid. Chelsea have countered. As of right now, Manchester United still haven't accepted that counter. So it's still not a case of, you know, United... It's still not a case of United going, okay, yeah, that's fine. We're gonna go with the proposal that you've given us, Chelsea. I still think they'll probably again negotiate. I still think they'll probably go back to their strategy, United, and say we don't want to spend, you know, more than 60 million, and they're looking for 65. There's still a compromise to be reached here, and there is still a compromise that I do think will be reached. I don't think we have to worry still or yet about this one going away or United not going for alternatives. I know that's kind of what they had threatened previously, hadn't they? They threatened that this was going to be the third and final bid, and they were willing to walk away. They were willing to look at other midfield targets such as Moises Caicedo, which, as I've said before, I think is Manchester United bluffing largely. This has been a deal that at this point has taken, what, 3 weeks, nearly into its fourth week to get done, and it's not even really done yet. It's still at a key critical point. It was said by Fabrizio Romano, wasn't it, that the next 7 days would be critical and would be important for the Mason Mount deal, and they still largely are, aren't they? We've still got time to get this one done, and I still do think ultimately Mason Mount will be a Manchester United player. I think this is just once again another step in it being longed out. That's why when in the live show earlier on, when KG called in, I was somewhat reluctant to, when he said, oh, this is good, United are moving quickly, they're getting it done, it's done. And I had to sort of preface by saying, well, you know, it's not done just yet. That's the important thing to say. It's not done. And because we know what Chelsea want. And we also, in addition to knowing what Chelsea want, we know what Manchester United are willing to pay. And that is, again, up to 60. Chelsea wants 65. So where's the compromise? I felt previously that the final offer, because this, of course, was not the final offer, despite United saying, oh, it's the final offer, I felt that actually the final offer would most likely be 55 plus 5, an overall package of 60. And I think that would be a compromise of United, in their mind. They might think, well, technically, we didn't really pay 60. We paid 55, and the add-ons might be difficult to reach, something like that. In Chelsea's mind, they might think, well, we wanted 65. We got to 60 overall. We're happy with that. They shake hands. They move on. I almost do see it as a positive that Chelsea are offering to meet with Manchester United, because this isn't a case of Chelsea not wanting to do business. This isn't a case of Chelsea driving a super hard bargain. You can, and I think rightfully so, make the argument that Mason Mount is incredibly overpriced for a player that's got 1 year left on his contract. I know that Chelsea say, well, he's a homegrown player, he's a British player, he's a player that's come through the academy, he's won stuff, he's a player we don't really want to lose. Yes, it's a player that's communicated to us that he wants to go. Yes, it's a player that said, I'm not going to sign a new contract, so we're more than aware we have to let him go this summer, and we want to adhere to his wishes, but we want to make sure we get the right price. So because of that, Chelsea might think, well, actually, initially we were asking for like 70, 75. We're going down to 65, possibly to 60. We feel that's a fair compromise, but as I was mentioning, there's a desire certainly on Chelsea's end to say, okay, look, we've countered with this. I know you might say no, but let's meet up. Let's thrash this out. Forget this back and forth. Forget this going through intermediaries or however they submit their transfer offers or make their bids or anything like that. Let's sit down. Let's meet in person. Let's get this deal done. We know this player's already agreed personal terms with you. We know on the player side of things, it's not a problem. We know the player wants to get it done. We want to get it done as well, because also Chelsea have deadlines to meet. 7 days' time is the end of the month, and they've got to report finances, etc., etc. They've got FFP restrictions. They want to get all of these deals that they're doing at the moment. They're moving in really quick succession, whether it's Mendy, Koulibaly, Ziyech, Kovacic, whoever you want to say, Kante, which is now done. All of those deals, they want to get done quickly for FFP reasons, and Mason Mount is no different. They want to get this one done, but they're dealing with a club that historically moves very slowly in the transfer market, but also they know will cave into pressure ultimately, because they'll feel the pressure of, oh, we're taking so long on this one deal and we've got other priorities to do. So I do look at this as a situation whereby I still do think the deal will get done. I know that a lot of you will be saying, well, now's time to walk away. And I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. If Manchester United were a fully functioning, slick club at doing transfers, I'd absolutely say walk away. I'd say this is getting silly. He's overpriced. He's not value for money at this point. Walk away. The reason I don't think United, though, should walk away, and certainly they're not going to walk away, is because United are so slow and so inept at doing transfers, they don't have alternatives to go to. And if they start work on other alternatives now, that's another month away. We'll be waiting at the end of July going about that midfield signing, because that's how long United take to do deals. As I said, this Mason Mount thing has been rumbling on for nearly a month now, and we're closer to getting there, to getting this one over the line, but we're still not there yet. So if you think that we can just switch to Moises Caicedo and do that in quick time, we can't, because historically we don't. I know people are saying, well, what about Declan Rice? For me, Declan Rice is going to Man City. I know that United were exploring options of how they could possibly make that transfer work, but as I've said before, that's a really complex transfer and requires a lot of creativity in the minds of people that have previously shown they're devoid of creativity in terms of transfers or putting deals together, because they overpay and undercharge. That's the United transfer motto. So I think they're in too deep. I think they've come too far with Mason Mount in their minds to give up at this point, and I totally agree that we've been overcharged, but again, that's what Man United do when it comes to transfers. So I still do think ultimately that Mason Mount will become a Manchester United player. Again, the question is, do United accept that counter offer from Chelsea of 58 plus 7? I don't think they do. I think what United will do next, as I mentioned, is go to 55 plus 5 and go to 60 because, of course, their offer this time around, as I mentioned, was 50 plus 5. I think they'll go up to make it 55 plus 5, and that'll be 60. And I think that'll be the magic number that Chelsea are actually looking for, and I think that'll be the number that Chelsea accept. But we're not going to seemingly get any this resolved maybe as quickly as we thought. Earlier on, we were saying maybe the next 48 hours, something like that. It probably doesn't look like that. We don't know, it must be said, when these face-to-face talks are going to happen, if indeed they're going to happen. As of right now, at the time of recording this video, that's just an offer from Chelsea to sit down and thrash things out. Again, there's a desire, you would think, on the Chelsea side of things to act quickly. So maybe those sit-down talks do happen tomorrow, or they do happen over the weekend. But that would imply, if that's the case, then maybe we get that famous "here we go" maybe Monday, something like that. So if you were hoping for Mason Mount to be done and resolved over the weekend, maybe that might not be the case. But certainly, again, anything's possible. But that is the latest news when it comes to Mason Mount. So over the course of the last 24 hours, we've had talk about a bid going in today, a bid's then gone in today, and now later on in the evening, the bid has finally been rejected by Chelsea for Mason Mount, that third bid for Manchester United. The key thing now becomes, what are United going to do next? Are they going to agree to that compromise that Chelsea are talking about? Are they going to agree to sit down with Chelsea to thrash out the final details of this deal? Or are they going to walk away and look to alternatives? What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comment section below. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As I mentioned earlier on, there are plenty of UV streams, videos, and content on the horizon. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And if we get any more news, I'm sure I'll speak for you again very, very soon.